We are going to be talking about the situation of Eric Garcia and most importantly Ansu Fati. Xavi Hernandez is making decisions in the dying hours of this transfer window. We have about 2 or 3 days left, and it is quite clear that players of the likes of Eric Garcia and Ansu Fati may not even see the next game against Osasuna. Like, we may not. Like, things can change very quick. And so let's talk about that, right? So let's talk about Ansu Fati first. It is going to be very detailed, so make sure you do pay attention so you guys can see exactly what is going on with his situation at the club. So Ansu Fati is open to listening to other offers like Chelsea, Tottenham, and Borussia Dortmund. Before, Ansu Fati was not listening to other offers, but now he is open. I do think that because of the amount of pressure that has been going on, he probably felt the pressure. He probably felt that he should be leaving Barcelona temporarily in order to prove himself that he is a great player. We know that the club wanted Ansu Fati out, but Ansu Fati did not want to move throughout this whole summer, and because there are only 3 days left, Barcelona continued to apply pressure, and now Ansu's like, you know what, there is 72 to 82 hours left in this transfer window. Why not make a decision now and just move forward? They have been wanting me out for the past 2 or 3 months. So it says here that Jorge Mendes will work hard to find a club that satisfies the interest of all parties, which is the most key in order for us to see Ansu Fati go out. The formula would be a loan. So we have to see if we can satisfy the party of Barcelona, right? Barcelona do want to loan out to Ansu Fati, and they do not want to pay any of his wages for this season. We must also take care of the buyer, right? The buyer needs to know that whoever they do welcome into the club, he is the correct fit. So Chelsea might see Ansu as a correct fit. Dortmund might see Ansu as a correct fit. Maybe even Tottenham. I do think that these 3 clubs would love to have someone like Ansu. And then we especially have to take care of Ansu Fati himself. What does he want? Where does he want to go? Where does he think he can fit the most out of these 3 clubs? Could it be Chelsea? Could it be Dortmund? Could it be Tottenham? In my opinion, if I was Ansu, I would go to Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund know how to grow players. They know how to develop them. We have seen that throughout the years. We have seen Adeyemi, Mokoko, Erling Haaland, many players in the past 4 to 5 years come through the ranks, and they have become phenomenal players because Dortmund know how to nurture the youth. And that is why I do say that Ansu Fati should go to Dortmund for a 1-season loan. And that's if all parties do agree that a loan option would be okay. And if Ansu Fati himself does think that he should move away from Barcelona temporarily. Cope also wanted to state that as of today, there is a 75% chance of him leaving. And again, I want to make it very clear that none of this has something to do with selling Ansu Fati forever. Like, we're never going to have Ansu Fati back. It is only a loan deal that Barcelona is looking for, because all sources have already claimed that Barcelona want to loan out Ansu. They do not want to lose complete control of the player, but they do want the wages to be 100% covered. They do not want to spend a single dime or euro or dollar for Ansu Fati. They want to maximize the amount of margin they can have on the wage bill. Now, there has been other sources, and take this with a grain of salt, but they have stated that Barcelona would want any team that wishes to sign Ansu Fati on loan to pay 100% of his wages plus a loan fee of 6 to 8 million euros. That is the amount Barcelona would like to receive. And then they also want a purchase option that would be included that's over 45 million euros. Again, we don't know if this is the exact number or if this is true, so take this information with a grain of salt. If anything, I think that Ansu Fati, if he does well, whether it's at Dortmund, Chelsea, or Tottenham, I do think that Ansu Fati is worth more than 55 to 60 million euros. I also do think that if Barcelona loan him out, they should also put some appearance clauses. Like, if Ansu Fati makes more than 18 appearances during the season, Barcelona should be compensated another 6 to 8 million euros, because they do that to us. Like, many clubs do that to us, and we have seen other clubs do that to each other. There should be extra clauses where we can get compensated based off appearances, goals, assists, and much more. We have to benefit from this. We just have to. And another thing that I do want to point out is that Barcelona do have another plan. There's a reason why they want to let go of Ansu for this season. That is because they want to introduce Joao Felix. So if you guys are wondering what Barcelona are going to do to reinforce that position, well, that is Joao Felix. Joao Felix is being welcomed by the club. Xavi Hernandez is now keen on signing the player. Deco also wants Joao Felix, and that is why we do hear from Javi Miguel, who is a reporter very close to Xavi in Barcelona, and he has stated that Xavi Hernandez will not prevent Ansu Fati's departure as long as there is an option for him to return, and also include a reinforcement. And like I've said, it is Joao Felix. That is the player Barcelona is eyeing, and it's crazy to see how all of this is playing out, because I thought that either Abde or Ferran was going to leave and we introduced Joao Felix. Like, we saw what Xavi Hernandez preferred in terms of substitutions. Gavi was the main left winger. If things did not work out, Xavi placed Abde. And if Barcelona was ineffective on the right side and Abde was on the left, Xavi placed Ansu Fati as another solution and moved Abde to the right side while having Ansu Fati on the left side and the striker was Lewandowski. So Ansu Fati was pretty high in the pecking order, and sometimes he did even start in some games. And I'm like, okay, so this is a case that Xavi is making, that he relies more on Ansu Fati and over Ferran Torres and over other attackers in general. But no, we are seeing the opposite. Ferran Torres is the one that wants to continue, and Xavi Hernandez is seeing that Ferran Torres is improving because of how many goals he's scoring, how many assists he's providing. You see how much more dynamic he makes Barcelona, and so Ferran Torres is fighting for his spot so much that is pushing Ansu Fati to the side, and now we're probably seeing Ansu Fati go down into the pecking order and Ferran Torres comes up higher with Abde and Lamine Yamal. And so this could be another reason why Ansu Fati is saying, okay, I have seen the situation change. I know that this club wants me out temporarily. Why not just approve other offers? Why not be open to Tottenham or Borussia Dortmund or Chelsea? And so it's crazy. It's crazy because I also think about how, like, in the previous season, Barcelona's top scorer besides Lewandowski in La Liga, it was Ansu Fati. Like, the only player that scored more than Ansu Fati in La Liga was Lewandowski, and that's crazy. Lewandowski finished that season with 23 goals and Ansu Fati with 7. There was no other attacker that scored more than 7 goals, and they're gonna let go of that player? Really? Maybe Xavi Hernandez is so convinced by Lamine Yamal and Ferran Torres that he's taking a gamble here. And let me tell you, this better work well. Like, we better see Ferran Torres score 10 to 15 goals this season and Lamine Yamal scoring about 5 to 8. I'm going to keep my standards low on Lamine Yamal only because he's just 16 years old. Like, he's just so young. It's crazy. So I'm not going to be saying he should be scoring 30 plus goals per season until the age of 32, 33 years old. If he scores 30 goals this season, great. But right now I'm just going to be saying maybe score 5 to 8 goals and that's it, right? So no worries. If he scores less than that, it's okay. He's still very young. At his age, he can get away from a lot of things. So going back to Joao Felix, Mateo Moreto also explained that Joao Felix has already rented his house in Madrid to a new tenant. If he cannot sign for Barcelona until Saturday, he will go to Saudi Arabia, where the transfer window shuts later. So Joao Felix is desperate to leave Atletico Madrid. He is just not happy, and you can see that through his facial expressions and his body language. And Barcelona must make that move, and very fast, because if you let go of Ansu, you must reinforce our attack with more players. And so these next 48 hours is going to be crazy. Barcelona, again, they will act. They will act on the operation of Joao Felix. You will see more news after this video about Barcelona making a bid to Atletico Madrid, and it's going to be a loan. I don't see Barcelona paying 50 million euros for Joao Felix, and it's going to be very stressful. Keep in mind, Joao Felix has options. It's not just Barcelona. When you have Atletico Madrid in this party, Chelsea also interested in Joao Felix right now as we speak, and then you place in the Saudi Arabia offers that he's getting into the mix, it's going to be a very hectic operation. So now let's step away from this and let's talk about Eric Garcia, because Eric Garcia has told Xavi Hernandez yesterday that he wants to leave, but on loan, and this is according to 21 Marty. And the option that Eric Garcia is looking at is Girona. Now, it has been said that, however, Barcelona are currently skeptical about letting him leave. Xavi believes that he can help throughout the season, and Girona can only afford a loan with Barcelona paying a large part of his salary, so it doesn't help much economically either. The relationship between Barcelona and Girona are not the best, mainly because of the Romeo deal. Real Betis are also very interested in Eric Garcia, but at the moment, Girona is the front runners. Now, with Eric Garcia making this decision, Xavi Hernandez is not backing down. He's not greenlighting his exit like he is with Ansu Fati. Xavi Hernandez is trying to convince Eric Garcia currently that he should not leave and that he still has a place. Adria Albert has stated that the coach has told him he's going to be needed. Eric Garcia has many doubts though. Xavi believes his departure on loan weakens the squad, which he believes is small. In addition, his departure wouldn't really help the financial fair play, and I think that is like the main story of today with Eric Garcia. If Barcelona are not going to be benefiting off of a player leaving in terms of financial fair play, why let him go? Like, why let him go? With Ansu Fati is different though, because if you take away 9 to 12 to 14 million euros from your wage bill, that's a huge benefit that Joan Laporta is going to be gaining. But with Eric Garcia, you don't really gain much. And if you let go of Eric Garcia, who is one of our center back options, that's very dangerous because you're only left with Koundé, Christensen, Araujo, and Inigo Martinez. Marcos Alonso is not in the picture. I think that he will be leaving. And so we're going to be left with those 4 center backs. And keep in mind, Christensen is some sort of like a injury prone. Araujo also, he's currently injured. Koundé can be injured any second. Inigo Martinez is 32 years old. He cannot play every game. He will get injured, just like how he was in the past 3 to 4 weeks. And so why let go of Eric Garcia? It's a dangerous move. We need to be 100% fully covered. And if we have 2 or 3 center backs injured, it's going to be a wrap, like a huge wrap. Like what? Are we going to put Frankie de Jong as one of our center backs and place next to Koundé? It'll be a disaster because who's going to be in our midfield and being paired with Oriol Romeo? And you may say, Kevin, we can place Oriol Romeo and Gundogan, Pedri, and Gavi. Yeah, sure, like that could work, but where's Pedri? Pedri's injured. So you see how like it has a ripple effect in all areas of the squad. And only because we took out Frankie de Jong in the midfield and put him in the center back positions, only because we had no center back. So Eric Garcia is needed, my friends. Even though I know that Eric Garcia is not like the best and the most popular within the realm of the Barcelona fan base, he's still very much needed. And that is why Xavi Hernandez is saying, you still have a spot here. You are a player that we need in case one of our center backs do get injured. And also Eric Garcia as a 4th or 5th option in our back line, he's not that bad. Like, I don't know why many do assume that Eric Garcia is a bad center back. He's great in ball distribution. He can also play in the defensive midfield position, right? He's versatile. He's very helpful when we do face low block defending teams. So I don't know why it would be a good idea to let go of Eric Garcia. We don't benefit from that. If anything, it only hurts the club. And I understand why Eric Garcia would want to go somewhere and go to Girona, and why he may think that his departure is not going to be hurting Barcelona. I can see why. I can see his perspective. But I think that Xavi Hernandez needs to do some convincing. He will get game time for sure throughout this season. I know that he is also aiming to play in the Euros of 2024. He wants to showcase his skills, just like how all other players are looking for teams where they can play more to showcase why they should be in the national team. I know Eric Garcia wants to do that, and I understand that as a young player who's only 21, 22 years old. But again, Xavi Hernandez is going to need to convince Eric, because we are going to need him, because the amount of games that Barcelona is going to be playing is going to be humongous, and Araujo, Koundé, Christensen cannot take all of those games. And so I am going to be wrapping it here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.